More angry customers in Nebraska and Iowa are coming forward after a First Alert 6 investigation exposed a tour company that abruptly closed and canceled trips. Now, those vacationers still due refunds for their deposits.
Mike McKnight has learned the charter bus provider is also owed money. The latest tonight in a First Alert 6 follow-up.
A group of a dozen Omaha area quilters would have had a yarn to tell.
It's a quilter's heaven.
After a day trip to a Missouri sewing mecca aboard a Navigator Motor Coach operated by John Overly.
This is what tours take: onboard Wi-Fi, 6 screens, overhead space, your own cup holders, your own outlets.
But Elite Goody Tours, which chartered the bus, canceled the trip and still owes deposit refunds of $150 to each quilter.
It's not just our trip, it was several trips. And you're talking, it was a lot of money that they had taken from a lot of people.
The Better Business Bureau shows Elite Goody Tours out of business, and the listed owner, Stephen Goodman, filed for bankruptcy in Florida. He declared less than $50,000 in assets against liabilities of $100,000 to $500,000. The charter company that provided the buses is also owed money for at least 6 trips. Navigator Motor Coaches has filed suit against Elite Goody Tours.
One of those deals where they collected all the money and then we're sitting here sending invoices out and not getting anything back.
Elite Goody Tours also contracted for longer motor coach trips to places like North Carolina.
We have not had any response from the Goody Tour about our canceled tour to the Biltmore that was supposed to take place the first week of December. We're really disappointed.
The Elite Goody Tours website is still up, so I messaged Stephen Goodman to ask if he has anything to say to customers and the bus provider that he owes money. His only response is sorry, and talked to his lawyer, who's not replied. But the operator of Navigator Motor Coaches says the quilters and other travelers shouldn't regret booking future tours.
It definitely puts a stain on that industry. But there are other reputable companies out there, especially in our neighborhood. There's a handful of really good ones.
Near 132nd and Cornhusker, Mike McKnight, First Alert 6.
Elite Goody Tours owes money for the buses it chartered, though they're unsure if they'll get paid. The operators of Navigator Motor Coaches still plans to offer the Quilt Group a day trip for free.
The Trump administration